Todd, welcome back to SuperChat.
Good morning, Gary. How are you?
I'm just fine, sir. Always such a pleasure to speak with you. There's always something going on at Northwest Local Schools. Let me jump into something here. What can you tell me about Passage, your alternative school?
Well, our alternative school is called Northwest Passage. It is an alternative to your traditional high schools. And we have two high schools. We have Colerain High School and Northwest High School. And we also have three middle schools, Colerain Middle School, White Oak Middle School, and Pleasant Run Middle School. So Northwest Passage was designed to service students in grades 7 through 12 who might need a little different type of education as they move forward based on things that are occurring in their lives. We run 3 sessions at our Passage from 7 to 9:55. From 9:15 to 12:10, and from 11:30 to 2:25. The biggest thing that you see that is different in Northwest Passage is that it is through online education through the APEX system that allows our students to get the curriculum and standards they need in order to achieve high school credit to graduate. So what are some of the things that lead to our students attending Northwest Passage? It could just be a kid that has to work to help support his family's income, to help provide things for the family, and to go to school for a traditional 740 to 240 day just isn't working. Well, what Passage does is it gives 3 different time slots based on when they work. The students are able to work during that 2.5 to 3 hour session while at Northwest Passage, and then at night continue to do work online through the APEX program. Other folks it might help is an unexpected pregnancy for a young lady, kids who are needing to catch up on credits who move into our district from other districts and are credit deficient, students who just need a change in a traditional setting, sitting in their seat, paying attention for 6.5 to 7 hours a day just isn't getting it. They just need a change in order to be successful. It also is an alternative school for some of our students who make bad choices, but what I want people to understand is it's not just an alternative school for kids who make bad choices. It's an alternative school for kids who just need a change. They already have 2 early graduates this year. They have several students working ahead on their academic calendars and getting their classes scheduled. We've incorporated a CBI program in cooperation with Butler Tech, and what that means is not only do they take their traditional courses, math, English, social studies, science, but they're out in the work field working and getting credit for that also. We have several sophomores who will be juniors next year, so they've gone to Butler Tech to visit their programs to see if there's an interest there. Again, I go back to it's an alternative. College isn't for everyone. We do our best to prepare our kids so they can go to a 2-year or 4-year college and be successful, but Northwest Passage provides students with opportunities to get them interested in career tech, to get them interested in things that will take them above and beyond what a college diploma will be. We have kids who are graduating in welding and auto mechanics and construction who are going straight to the workforce and are becoming very successful and making good salaries. So we sometimes get a rap with an alternative school in the state of Ohio that this is where the kids who are having trouble in school go to. Well, that's not true with ours. We have an alignment and a partnership with the military recruiting stations. Some of our folks choose to go into the armed forces to serve. Again, they go into Butler Tech. And again, some of them get their credits, graduate early, and enter college early. So it's just a great alternative that I don't think many people are aware of in our district. But the way it works is that the kids basically do their classes online through APEX, which is a program that covers all the content standards necessary for graduation. They achieve their credits there, and they move forward. So it's something I wanted to bring to everybody's attention.
Yeah, sure. Is the APEX system online like this, is this a statewide online system that alternative school programs in any district can access?
Basically, you have several vendors out there who will offer several programs that will give credits for kids. So it's just the program that we chose for our students. It meets our needs right now. We will look at expanding it or upgrading as we move forward. It's just something that we chose to use because it best fit our needs.
Sure, I get it. Well, is an alternative school program, is it required that a district offer this?
No, it's not required at all. We do have a principal in the building. Some of the other things that we add that I think are really important is we have a full-time social worker that's there to help the kids deal with all issues. We do service students with individual education plans, IEPs. We have certified instructors in math, English, science, and social studies. So it's just a different way of delivering education that works out for kids.
Just as a rough estimate, approximately how many individuals do you feel are actively involved in your Passage program?
I'd say from our middle school, 7th and 8th grades, you've got about 6 to 8 right now. But for our high schools, you've got an additional 50 to 55 that are being very successful.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. Great overview. That was good. I wanted to ask you something else. Your schools and students are adjusting to a new set of high school graduation requirements, and you have what is referred to as a pathways to graduation. What can you share with our listeners regarding these changes and the pathway to graduation?
Yeah, this is a big change for our students. Before, you had to get your high school credits, you pass your OGT. As long as you pass your OGT in all 5 areas, you can get your diploma. But starting with the class of 2018, which are now our current juniors, things have changed. They still need 20 credits, and they need foreign language arts, a half a credit in health, 4 in math, half a credit in physical education, 3 in science, 3 in social studies, and 5 credits in electives. So that's your basic electives that are needed and your credits for every high school. Now, some high schools will differ. Some require 22 to graduate, 21, 20, so on and so forth. But after you achieve those credits, you also have to achieve other things in order to graduate. The first thing is the end of course exams. And what you have to do there is you have to earn at least 18 points on 7 different end of course state tests. You have to get points in Algebra 1 or Integrated Math 1, Geometry or Integrated Math 2, American Government, American History, English 1, English 2, and Biology. Now, what makes this unique is that each test score earns you up to 5 graduation points, and you have to have a minimum of 4 points in math, 4 points in English, and 6 over science and social studies. So that's a big change. As we look at our current class of juniors that we have that would have to meet these requirements, about 45 to 58% of them right now as a junior have met those requirements. Statewide, the average is 46%. So the Ohio Department of Education is looking at putting this on a sliding scale where it would reduce it from 18 and lower it to 14, 15 one year, 16, 17 the next year, 17, 18 the year after that. So that is something that we are paying real close attention to and something that really concerns us because we're on the 3rd year of having different tests for our students. If you go back to the Ohio Achievement Test, then you go to PARCC, and now you go to AIR. They've changed the test for 3 years. We just need a consistent test. We need consistent data that we can use to drive instruction. So that's got us really concerned there. So let's say you don't go the end of course exam. Another pathway, and they give you 3 pathways. The second pathway is an industry credential and workforce readiness. You earn a minimum of 12 points by a state board of education approved, industry recognized credential, or group of credentials in a single career field, and a 13 on work keys. These obviously go through our Butler Tech programs. These work keys are very, very, very difficult. Students are having a very difficult time passing these. So that's a possibility. Our college and career readiness test, that's the ACT or SAT. If you score an 18 in English, a 22 in math, and a 22 or higher in reading, then you don't have to worry about the end of the course exams or anything else. That concerns us as a district because our average ACT score right now sits at about 19, 20. It goes back and forth from year to year. So again, these pathways to graduation have changed. We will meet the needs of our students, and we will continue to do everything we can to support them. But what we need from the state is we need the state to be consistent in how it assesses our students. We have to have data that drives instruction. If we get different data from different tests every year, we really can't use that to drive the instruction to move these kids forward. So I just wanted to make sure that this class of 2018, our current juniors, is aware of the credits you need and then your 3 pathways to graduation.
Yeah, the inconsistency factor in Ohio is not alone in this, but this every year a new test. It's just, dare I say, crazy, but there's no continuity is the problem, and there's very little data that can be used to respond from a teaching perspective, from the standpoint of in the classroom activities at an individual level, because there's no consistency. And I would agree with you. The sooner they can settle it down at a state level and zero in on something and stick to it, I think the whole process will become a little bit more manageable. That's an outsider's take on it. But good description on this, Todd. Well, the class of 2018, I'm sure between now and then, they'll step up and you guys will get her done. But Todd, listen, you're fast approaching a holiday break involving a couple of weeks of inactivity for students and most staff. Everybody needs a little break. I wish you and your entire Northwest Local Schools family a happy holiday season, and I want to thank you for joining me here today on Super Chat.
Thanks, Gary. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.